Greed, 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 greed. Something about the human body, something about the human mind and our sinful nature. We want more, and more. We are never fully satisfied. That's when it comes to money, food, career, anything, video games. Once you put your identity in an object or something that you do, you cannot get enough of it. And too much of a good thing can turn into a bad thing. And this is what I'm seeing with this Brent Favre situation now. Having a good name is a great thing. Wanting people to look at you and say, hey, he's a beacon of hope, a beacon of light in our community. And for Southern Miss, he's a beacon of light. We love this guy. And then to go out and use somebody else's money to get that type of light attached to you, not coming from your own pockets, but coming from somebody else's pockets in an illegal fashion. That is absolutely wrong. Now, Brent Favre, he did come out and say that he didn't know this was TANF money at all. He said, I didn't know it was TANF money. And the text messages, it don't show that he knows that this was TANF money. But from seeing those text messages from him and Nancy New, he's like, hey, will anybody find out about this? Will anybody find out about this? Will this go public? Like, anytime you're acting somebody, can somebody find out about this? Okay. Can somebody in some shape, some form, some fashion find out about this situation? And they find out about the situation, you're going to be in big trouble. So, hey, something fishy is going on here, but this is a sin issue. So much can be avoided if we stay away from greed. Like if Brent Favre wasn't so greedy and wanted more, he wouldn't even be involved in this scandal at all. He would not be in this scandal right now if he just kept his head away from these type of wolves. He wouldn't be in this situation. But she said, you know what? I don't really want to use my own money. I want to use somebody else's money. Why? I don't want to write off a check, $5 million and give it to the university. Really, I can just write that off on my taxes. And I'm pretty sure he could have did that. He didn't want to go that route. He wanted to use somebody else's money to do this situation. There's nothing wrong with using somebody else's money. But being greedy, wanting more and want to keep more for yourself, you can end up in situations like this. That's why Jesus said the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is what causes us to sin. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life does not come from the Father, but from this world. And wanting to have this image of, hey, this guy is a great man. He just gave away $5 million to the university. We love him. You wanted that. That's a great stamp of approval, a great thing to have attached to your name. But when you get involved in things like this, it diminishes your name and it tears your name up and it tears your family name up as well. So staying away from greed is something that we all need to participate in. Like anytime we are greedy, we want more, and more. We're going to end up falling into sins like this. It might not be this big. It might not be this serious. Okay. It might not be this real, but hey, you can find yourself in situations where you're like, hey, I shouldn't be in this situation at all. But greed caused me to go here. Like greed for me, when I was in college, literally, I went to Wendy's, shouldn't be eating Wendy's, ate a lot of Wendy's. Then I went to Dunkin' Donuts, ate Dunkin' Donuts. Then after eating Dunkin' Donuts, I wanted a large lemonade, got a large lemonade and drunk that as well. After consuming all of that nonsense, woke up the next day. Throughout the midday, my stomach got tied in a knot and I had a horrible stomach ache. Literally had to go to the ER, throwing up everywhere because of greed. This little desire to want more put me in a horrible situation, in the ER, having a messed up stomach because I wanted more. The same thing right now is happening with Brent Favre. He wanted more. He wanted more. He wasn't content with what he had. He didn't want to use what he had. He wanted to use somebody else's stuff. And now he's entangled in this nonsense. And hey, he probably knew that it was TANF money. We don't know. From the text messages, it looked like he didn't know it was TANF money, but something fishy is going on because he said, can anybody find this out? Anytime you say that, we know something fishy has to be going on. And that's why I just want to bring up a couple of scriptures just to remind us to stay away from greed and stay away from the desires of our flesh. And I mentioned one of them. The first one was 1 John 2:16. For the lust of the world, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life does not come from the Father, but from the world. So we have to keep our minds in the right place, on the right track, and around the right people as well, so we won't fall into the lust of the flesh. You know what that can be. The lust of the eyes, you know what that can be, and the pride of life. Like, hey, what I'm doing in my identity and myself and what I can do is the most important thing to me. And that will cause you to stumble. That will cause you to sin. And that will get you in a great deal of trouble. Proverbs 22:1. A good name is more desirable than riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. A great name is more desirable than riches, than money, than wealth. And right now, Brent Favre is asking and hoping for a much better name, because now his name is just totally tarnished because he's involved in this scandal. Greed caused him to get there because he wanted more. And the more you want, it gives you a great possibility to put yourself in danger and being involved in situations that you don't need to be a part of at all. And this is what we see with this Brent Favre scandal. So it's absolutely insane. This is crazy. I'm from Mississippi. I literally worked at the Department of Human Services when I first graduated from high school. I mean, not from high school, but from college. In 2020, I started working there and worked for this in a SNAP program. It's not the same as the TANF program. Now, the TANF program, those requirements are insane, and the application is insane, and the interview is insane. So I'm glad I didn't work in that department, but I worked in the SNAP department. And to qualify for TANF, man, you got to do so many things. Oh my goodness. It's insane. Like, you literally have to have nothing to qualify to get paid. Now, I'm tired of everybody saying Mississippi, the poorest state. Now everybody care about Mississippians. People don't really care about Mississippians at all. Okay, let's just be honest. Y'all don't. I don't think people really do. This state, this city, especially the capital, we didn't have water, 2 months ago or a month ago, like no clean running water in the capital. Now everybody's speaking about Mississippians and like, the poorest state in the union. Now everybody seems to care, but nobody really cares about Mississippi. Let's be honest. That's what I'm getting from this Brent Favre situation. One thing I'm like, hey, man, now y'all want to talk about Mississippi now. Now y'all want to say, hey, Mississippians are the poorest state in the union. You're stealing from them. When did you ever care about Mississippians? We didn't have water a month ago. The infrastructure is messed up in the state of Mississippi. Now, all of a sudden, the poorest state in the union, and now you care. Well, if you care, hope you're showing some type of action to get some clean water in the capital city of Jackson, Mississippi.